From high on the hilltop in Big D.
All right, let's go.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on a TCU head coach.
SMU! The freaking Pony Express, man!
SMU, they better be in the dang playoffs.
You are listening to the Mustang Mood Podcast. Wow. Welcome back, everyone. You are listening to the Hate Week episode of the Mustang Mood Podcast.
TCU Hate Week, specifically.
Lowercase TCU, though.
Yeah.
Live from an undisclosed location somewhere deep in the bowels of Fondren Library on the beautiful campus of SMU. This is the Mustang Mood Podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Jay Keeler. This is
Walker Harris.
And this is Yannick Land.
And we're here today with a very special guest, Mr. Hayden Howerton. Welcome, Hayden.
Thanks, boys. So y'all got me fired up after that intro, man.
Right? It's the perfect intro for the week.
It's so good.
I'm
I
pumped.
think you can just wind me up and let me go now.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Well, we'll start with that. Let's hear a bit about your background with SMU, and then specifically with the coach in Fort Worth, and then what it was like kind of playing in these games.
Yeah, man. So I came to SMU. I was part of that Staying Gang 17 signing class. So I played at Katy High School. I was used to winning a lot of games. I won a state championship in high school, and then I come to SMU, and I think they went 5-7 my senior year of high school. So I knew it was going to be a little bit of a culture shock, once I got here. But something I was proud of was just the way that the program turned around during my time there. I mean, so I get there, we go 7-6, and Chad Morris's only year that I was here. He leaves for Arkansas, and it's a lot of what's next, because I remember people were freaking out when Chad left because people just didn't know what the program was capable of. So they bring in Sonny, who was a analyst at TCU at the time. He struggled as a head coach at Cal. I think he was just out of his element, being out of Texas. But they bring him in. We go 5-7 in 2018. We have an off season from hell, but that's the year the transfer portal opened. And I say that because we didn't make a bowl game, and I think we went through like 2 weeks of Navy SEAL Hell Week during finals, because they wanted to kind of hammer that home of like, it's not okay to not make a bowl. But next year, the transfer portal opens. Shane Buechele, among others, joined the team, and it kind of felt like SMU transformed overnight because we're playing on game day. We win 10 games that season, and the Pony Express is back, at that point. And so 2020 was COVID, which was kind of just a weird year to begin with. I mean, we were changing in the concourse of the stadium. Like we didn't have access to the locker room.
Oh, wow.
It was wild during that time. And then 21, I came back for my fifth year. So I didn't redshirt as a freshman. I had started from, I think, my seventh game on. And then I wanted to come back if they gave me the opportunity, and they did. They let me come back for that fifth year and hit the ground running my senior year. We started 7-0, and we ran for 350 on the Frogs, which is one of my career highlights. I mean, after that game, the staff, they kind of passed out these little mini Iron Skillets.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
I am really grateful to have that. But it was about that time that I started hearing the rumblings, like everybody else did, of, is Gary Patterson going to get fired, and who's going to replace him? And it was about that time that I got a phone call from somebody on staff. I was at my apartment. It was like 10 o'clock at night. And it's just hey, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm hanging out. What's going on? They're like, is there any rumors of that we're all leaving for TCU? And I was like, there is now. Because that was a weird phone call. I don't know what was up with that. But anyway, news comes a few weeks later. We see it on the ticker before Sonny even told the team.
Dang.
Guys we're heading to the hotel night before senior day. We're gonna play Tulsa on senior day. And we see it all over the news. Guys are throwing stuff, like I remember this like it was yesterday. We were eating dinner and everybody's like, throw that TCU game on, because they were getting their ass kicked like that night. And so I mean, it was bad. I mean, guys were like, I'm not playing tomorrow, screw this. And Rick Hart actually called me that night in the hotel.
Oh, wow.
And was like, hey, Sonny, we're thinking about not having him on the sideline tomorrow. Like, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I had a really good relationship with Sonny when he was the head coach at SMU. Like I had Thanksgiving at his house multiple times, like being from Houston, he made that open, and I always have really good relationships with my coaches. So I took full advantage of it. Like had a great relationship with him. His wife was always super nice to me. And so I was like, you know what, it's my senior day. It's like the one day in my SMU career I get to stand in front of the crowd and like celebrate what I've done. Like I want my head coach there. But obviously the fallout that happened on the boulevard and everything else, I mean, it was brutal. And after the game, we lose on senior day. Tulsa comes back, and Sonny's in the locker room, I mean, crying afterwards. And but it was basically like, peace, see ya. He said basically, thanks seniors, but see you later. And so we're supposed to get ready for a bowl game with no head coach, which I had done before when Chad Morris left. And you're kind of going through it, and Jim Levitt is the interim head coach. And push comes to shove, Virginia, who we were supposed to play, ended up getting COVID. So my college career just ended in a team meeting room when they were like, "Hey guys, bowl game's canceled."
Man,
like, well, that sucks.
Second year in a row.
But, so because the 2021 got canceled too against UTSA. But I tried to keep the relationship as long as I could, man. I had gone over there to see them because, like I said, I had a good relationship with them. But when I started getting into the media world, that is kind of when it all changed. They definitely looked at me a little bit different. I wasn't welcomed anymore. And then so that's kind of where it was like, all right, if y'all aren't going to respect what I've done for y'all and help you get that TCU job, then the gloves are off, baby.
So I think there's been a lot of talk in the last week or, in the, I guess, really last 2 years of people in Fort Worth don't think that this game is worth playing. And the people in Dallas don't understand why. SMU doesn't understand why we need to, cancel this game. I guess what was it like playing in the game? And what would, if you could plead to Sonny or to their AD to keep the game going, what would your message be to them?
Sonny would just have to listen to himself. I mean, when he was talking earlier this week in his press conference about, SMU didn't take the game seriously, that was the game that they prepped the most for, was the TCU game. So obviously they cared about it the most. It felt like they were the most uptight Big 12 team. It was an opportunity for us to kind of put on a good show. The players certainly took it seriously. I mean, we hate those guys. It's just
it's kind of funny.
It's a natural rivalry. I mean, even in high school, I was not looked at by TCU until I committed to SMU. And at that point, it was like, oh, so you're only wanting me because I'm going across town.
Yeah.
You're wanting
That's
to keep me
interesting.
from going to keep me from going to SMU. But so what I would say about those games is I have my best memories of those games. I mean, I went 2-2 overall, but 2-1 in Fort Worth because the 2020 game getting canceled. But just really, it's a fun football game. I mean, you play against a lot of guys that either you played against in the Metroplex. I personally had a teammate from high school that played defensive line for them. So that was kind of something every year where, like, when our GA would be breaking down the film, he'd be like, yeah, this guy's from Katy High School, so he's probably pretty soft. But it was fun. I just remember that game taking just that little bit extra focus, because in a rivalry game, it's so easy to just play completely out of your mind, and you're falling on your face. You're overhyped in some of these games. And so for me personally, I kind of had to bring myself down, take some deep breaths, kind of just feel good about it, but really emotional. I mean, after we beat them in 21 for the back-to-back and keeping the Skillet in Dallas, I mean, I cried, man. Like, we rushed for 350 yards. Like, the last game I was ever going to play against them, like I keep my personal Skillet forever. So it was awesome. I mean, and I'm getting goosebumps right now, kind of just thinking about the game because of what it means, not just to SMU, but to the Metroplex as a whole. SMU is one of the most attended TCU home games over their last, call it, 8 years. We've outdrawn the University of Texas in 2021 and in 2023, and I'm expecting a really large crowd this weekend as well, especially with it being the last one. So TCU can sit on their side of the fence and play the kid who goes, I'm tired of losing, so I'm going to take my ball and leave. But they care about this game just as much as we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Couple great points there. One, the fact that Sonny said that SMU doesn't take the game seriously is hilarious because that means he didn't take the game seriously when he was at SMU.
Right.
That's this guy.
And then
this
and
guy.
he still won twice. So
Yeah.
What does that say about TCU?
Yeah. And then the second, like it being the most attended game, one of their talking points about how they don't want to do the game anymore is that it's not a very well, attended game or watched game or whatever, which.
Yeah, they want to
But
add
then they're going to
value.
replace this game with Arkansas State and
Yeah,
St. Houston.
exactly.
Yeah.
Or going to Ireland. It's like-
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really adds season ticket holder value.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What a joke. What a joke.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So rolling off of all of that, I think, like, what was the experience like last year for you with the game at home against
Yeah.
TCU, Sonny getting ejected?
So we were talking before the show about how I know their staff listens to my podcasts.
Yeah.
Especially on This Week. And I know that because I got a text message last year before the game of, I heard you're on some podcast talking about how we weren't great coaches for you. Somebody on staff. And after the game, I had to hit him with looks like you should have watched some more film and listened to less podcasts.
Spicy.
Okay.
I love that.
But Sonny getting ejected is a memory that I will live with for the rest of my life. Like, it brings a smile to my face even now thinking
Same.
about it.
Same here. Same here.
And on we put the clip up on our show last night because Sonny wants to talk about, I don't care about this game, but he is like the most in a ref's face I've ever seen him. So obviously it means something.
He was that way in
But
2019 too. He was screaming at refs the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
Nuts.
Kevin's first game, his first start really against TCU. Just kind of the fact that people knew it was the last Dallas Iron Skillet game.
Mm-hmm.
And for us to put on the showing that we did against him, it just unreal. Like, it gives me chills, man.
I mean, I always say it kind of like healed something inside of me.
Yeah.
I also have a funny story from that game. The rest of the guys went to the SMU press conference after, and I was the one that got the privilege of going to the TCU press conference after. And when I was walking, I walked, through the tunnel, and then you turn left and go back to their press conference area, and there was Sonny right there in the hallway, like by the equipment room. And I just walked right by him, stared him straight in the eyes, and gave him a nod, and he was just dead blank stare, straight through me. Just waiting for the guys to come in so we could greet them.
Out of it.
Yeah, it was awesome.
The perp walk, watching the state troopers escort him to the locker room.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh.
I'll never forget that moment.
Yeah,
That's
no.
I don't know if there's been a more iconic ejection in college football. I can't think of one that's
I'm
happened.
not very versed in ejection history.
Just
for
doesn't
college
happen
football,
very
But it just doesn't happen very much.
for coaches especially.
yeah.
And then in a rivalry game, and the way that it really was
something
one of those
else.
cinematic
It was like a movie.
It
Yeah.
was like a movie. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's cinematic.
Couldn't have drawn it up any better. I think there's one other coach that's been ejected for that rule, but Sonny is the only Power 4 coach to be ejected for
Oh,
that
wow.
rule.
Mm-hmm.
What a title to hold. I love that. That's
What-
great for him. Very fitting.
That's crazy. Well, let's kind of move on to maybe some keys for the game this weekend. Yannick, you wanna start off with that?
Well, I got to be careful because if Ben comes back and watches this, he's gonna say I'm a Hoover homer. But
Toxically positive.
no, toxically positive. But I also had a really high opinion of Sawyer before the Baylor game, and then after the game, I said before the game he was a top 5 quarterback, and then after the game I was like, he's probably a top 3 quarterback in the country. And Ben always gets on to me for being too high on the other team's
I
quarterbacks.
gotcha.
And so I was pretty high on Hoover, saying that he's in the top 10 as a QB, and I think he may even be closer to a top 5 as well. And so I think Hoover's particularly dangerous. And so I think a lot of it's going to come down to, in terms of the game, kind of like what Hayden said, you kind of can get overhyped for it. I think what's going to happen is, Sonny's going to have the guys fired up. They're going to try to pop us as fast as possible. And Coach Lashley's probably going to try to do the same thing. It's basically everyone's going to come out of the gates just like a million miles an hour. And we got to be real careful about not having a quick 3 and out or quick fumble or something like that where it just kills our momentum, and then the TCU fans just kind of dogpile onto bad situation and make it worse. So I think that's kind of, I guess you could say, a key to the game in my mind. But I think ultimately what it's going to come down to is going to be KJ. If he's going to have to play a lot more poised than he has.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be we're going to see, I think it's going to be like the Penn game last year, where we're going to need to see that in a hostile environment that he's going to be able to have everything pounding around him, and he's going to have to be calm and be able to
locked in
and dink and dunk if he has to, just make really sharp plays. No big mistakes. That's my thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, KJ leads. He's one of the leaders in the country of big time throws. He makes huge, crazy, you think he's going to do, nothing good can happen from a play, and then he just goes and we either score or we get a huge gain. But he also kind of leads in turnover-worthy plays. And so it's going to be how can we balance that? Going back to last year, like looking at the stats, he was a very calm. It seemed like his first start, and like he's kind of like wading into the waters. He didn't really have to make any of those big plays. There was no pressure on him to make those big plays because our defense was scoring, and our special teams was scoring. And so when he's in a situation where the pressure of the world's not on him, he really, really thrives. And so we'll see how it starts. I think you're right. Can we start? Can the offense go out, score early, and then what does the turnover situation look like? We led last year 5-1 in the turnovers, and so if we do that again, I think it's a lock. That seems like that's a great stat. So if we can get 5 turnovers again, I think we'll do really well. But if we end up losing that battle, I think that may be a telling sign of what the end result looks like. And then special teams, obviously, I'll let you guys touch on that a little bit. But special teams will play a big part of the game as well. Yeah,
I think for me, my keys to the game are just everything I was pissed off about after last week's game. Just like, to put it in one word, just discipline. I mean, we cannot have 130 yards of penalties. Or was it more than that? It may have been more than
13 that. For I think even more than that.
Maybe 150. Like we can't have 80 yards of penalties. Like they need to lock it down. KJ needs to protect the ball better. Colin Rogers needs to make his kicks.
He's probably gonna need to make some big time field goals.
Yeah,
if it's him.
I think it is. I think
it'll still be Rogers. This may be something that Hayden can speak to more, having actually been on the team. But that's one of my concerns is we had all these penalties in a kind of a practice game. I don't want to call it. Well, it's not really a practice game, but a game that we can kind of work on things. We have all these penalties, and then we're going to come into TCU with a hostile environment, and everyone's going to be overhyped. I mean, Hayden, maybe you can talk about, is that something that would concern you? Are we going to be more likely to make penalties now because mentally everything's on us?
I think Rhett made a really good point about this in his Tuesday presser. He was talking about Savion's hands to the face and how when you're not playing disciplined football with your hands in the right position, your hands you're trying to block them here, they slip up, you get a hands to the face 15-yard penalty. So I think when you just have that extra level of, poise, you're dialed in a little bit more. I think as long as you're playing technique sound football, then the penalties won't be a problem. Now, you're still going to have a couple of these just playing hard penalties, as I like to call them. You're going to have a hold at some point. You're going to have, maybe a bang-bang DPI where you're just trying to make a play on the ball. I'm okay with those, but it can't be the lining up offsides twice. It can't be these, dumb. I don't want to call Jeffrey Mbaugh's, late hit dumb because, again, he's playing hard, but in this era of college football, they're going to protect the quarterbacks. So there is things like that. And Red is doing a good job of trying to coach it out of the teams. He's not just sitting in the rooms allowing these, 15 penalties for 500 yards to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as it sucks, SMU is 130th in the country in penalties right now.
Yeah.
So it's getting addressed. It's just going to be a matter of how quickly can it get addressed, because if not, it's going to eat us alive. But my key to the game here, guys, is I'm looking at the 2021 stats where we rushed for 350 yards on him. Tanner had 3 picks in that game. And I love Tanner Mordecai. He was a really great quarterback for us. But if you run the ball, you can overcome a lot of stuff. I mean, we lost the turnover battle to them. They were able to sling the ball all over the yard. I mean, Max Duggan, 16 for 28, 276, 3 touchdowns, no picks. and they still lose by 8.
Wow.
And they were down by 14 at one point in the fourth quarter. So I just look at this game, and obviously I'm a homer for the offensive line. If this offensive line has one of those games that they take over and wear the time possession, they win the time of possession battle, they wear TCU's front down, it keeps our defense fresh. We're able to get after the passer a little bit more, especially if TCU's playing from behind. And I think that's what's going to lead to victory. I think Kevin needs to have a clean game. I agree with you guys on that. He can't be having some of these red zone turnovers or where the moment feels too big like it did in that Penn State game. I think he's a year past that. I think at this point, this will be his really second test for that. I think Baylor was a pretty big test for him going against a really good offense, but on the road is just a different beast. So I'm going to say run the hell out of the football.
Mm.
Do you think that our, kind of switching from Brashard to, TJ Harden, I think, has solidified himself as our primary back,
Yep.
but having him and Chris Johnson, do you think that those guys, that it's going to work in a run by committee, or do you think they're going to have to lean really hard into TJ Harden?
The Detroit Lions make it work, run by committee. So I think we can make it work. While I think TJ Harden is probably our every down back, eventually he's going to get tired, and that's when you're going to need, Chris Johnson Jr. What I've seen on tape, Chris Johnson Jr. is a really good running back in the outside zones. When he's a leggy back. When I played with the Titans, we talked about Derrick Henry of if he gets to his fifth step, it's over. And I think that's a little bit more of Chris Johnson Jr.'s speed in comparison to TJ Harden, who I think is a between the tackles runner. Neither one is worse. It's just whichever one benefits from the certain scheme that they're playing in.
And then what's your perspective maybe on, talking about between the tackles of the lines? Can you kind of break down what we should expect to see from TCU's offensive line, and maybe what should we expect to see defensively as well? How do we match up on the lines on both sides?
Yeah, after playing for A.J. Ricker, I know what TCU is going to run offensively. It's going to be a lot of inside zone. They're going to mix it in a little bit. They're going to pull they do a lot of really 5 O-linemen. And so what they'll do is they'll do some folding where like the center will block back, the guard will pull around, where it's not really a gap scheme play, but they are moving some offensive linemen around. What I don't like is they do what's called the jab technique. When they're man on, they're stepping with their inside foot and then trying to turn out on the guy. I just think when you're committing to that inside gap, it just kind of opens the door for guys to rush through, whether that's the B gap for the guard or the C gap for the tackle. It just makes it hard, especially if they're going to try to do some play action stuff, bring our linebackers up, try to get those guys out of it. Because if I was TCU, I would try to pick on our defensive backs as much as possible.
Yep.
After what we've seen so far in this season, I think they improved last week against Missouri State. However, there were times where it looked ugly. So I wouldn't be surprised if TCU comes in the game and they throw 5 straight passes just to kind of get a temperature check. See what we're rocking with, see how it's all going to roll. But our defensive line, the thing that I need to see the most is probably more pre-planned rushes. So Jeffrey Embaugh is really good when he gets his arms extended. He plays every bit as 6'6". That's a great bull rush, but you can't bull rush every time and win. You're going to eventually guys are going to sit down on it. It's going to become predictable. Elijah Roberts was so good because he had a bag of pass rush moves.
Yeah.
And we don't need one guy to replicate what Elijah Roberts did. We just need guys to contribute in their role. I think Wu Spencer is one of my favorite defensive linemen that we have. He doesn't get a ton of snaps, but every time I've seen him on tape, he's producing. So I think it's just one of those games that we have to take advantage of their offensive line, because last year we had 14 pressures, and that was a large reason on why we won that game. So I put another key to the game, if we're going to have like 5, is over 10 pressures from this defensive unit.
Okay, I like it. Yeah, Hoover definitely struggles under the pressure, and if we can get there, that'd be huge. And we definitely
a chance. Yeah,
we gave Sawyer too much time ultimately.
I was going to say that was one of my concerns, is that unless we bring blitz packages, we may have trouble getting pressure on. Because if Hoover gets 5 seconds like Sawyer was getting, that's concerning to me.
Good night. Yeah. Baylor's offensive line is a very experienced unit. They brought 4 starters back. The center and right tackle were brothers. So there's a lot of pieces to that offensive line that I think people kind of
Don't
wrote
give credit
off
for.
because of the Auburn game.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get it twisted. Auburn has a legit top 10 front in the country.
Yeah.
Auburn is a legit football team. But the biggest jump in college football is from week 1 to week 2. Baylor got to play a really good Auburn team. We got to play East Texas A&M where we could kind of play with our food, and really it didn't matter. So I think at this point in the year, SMU has rolled with the punches. I think they're going to get back up. SMU is probably the worst offender of playing up and down to the level of your competition. But in a week like this where you have to play up, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Do you think
we
it's
saw the playing down last week?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Do you think this is a big playing up moment for us, or do you think how close do you think the teams are? I think the line right now is 6.5. You know, do you think we are an underdog like the line's saying?
Yeah, I think we are. I just think it's been unproven. Before the season, I predicted SMU to, I think 10-2 was my prediction. They just haven't shown a 10-win football team in the ACC just yet. TCU, on the other hand, they haven't really played anybody. I mean, North Carolina is probably going to be one of the worst power forward teams in the country.
Yeah.
And I played for Belichick. You know, I'm not trying to throw shade. I mean, he gave me my lifeline in the NFL, but I just don't think he's cut out for college. You know, I think that might be a one and done situation. It's hard, you know, taking over a team as bad as North Carolina is. And then Abilene Christian. So you're playing another FCS team where you kind of get to look past them. The advantage TCU has is they had a bye week before Abilene Christian where, knowing Sonny, they 100% scouted us. 100%. So they essentially, this is their second week of preparation for SMU. So do I think we're underdogs? Yes. But I think we've been underdogs in every game that we've gone over there in the last 15 years. And we're 2-1 the last 3 trips over there.
Yeah. That's very true.
Yeah, I think that North Carolina game, I think, is kind of, it gives some false impressions to a lot of people just because there, I don't know, I'm going to call it the beatdown phenomenon when a team gets down by a certain point, especially transfer heavy teams. I've said this before. They seem like they almost not give up, so to speak, but there's just everything falls apart all at once, and the score looks way worse than maybe the team is indicative of. I do think North Carolina's probably, I said before this season, I think they were going to be terrible, but I think, I don't think they're quite as bad as the score indicated. I think TCU got to kind of play with them probably more than maybe they would if they played them, 2-3 weeks from now. That's my thought.
Yeah.
Well, Sonny ran up the score. I mean, let's not get it twisted.
Oh, he did, for sure.
Yeah,
he was trying to make a point. It definitely felt like he was trying to make a point with that, which is interesting.
Yeah,
48-14. That's tough.
I feel like he did
28 points in the second half.
He did that against us when they played his first time he played at SMU. Yeah.
And I just feel like he does that a lot.
Pissed.
I think he does that just whenever he has the opportunity.
Yeah.
We only lost that game by 8 points to the runners up in 22.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, maybe it was at
game.
TCU when we lost.
At TCU.
Yeah, that was when he ran it up. Yeah, that's right.
But okay, before we've got one other topic we'd like to cover, but let's go to the score predictions first, and then we'll talk about the thing on the front. Well, maybe secondary on everyone at SMU's mind this week. But we'll do some score predictions. So
I can kick us off.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think it's going to be a close one, and there's going to be some field goals. I think Colin Rogers is going to make his field goals, and we're going to win 37-34.
I love it. Yeah, I think the over-under is like 63, something like that, 62.5. I think we're going over. I think the defenses, I don't think will be enough to stop. We'll see. The only thing that could stop the offenses, I think, are themselves, whether they can perform to their full ability. But I think they're both going to be firing. And I think SMU wins in overtime 44-38.
Okay. Yeah, doing the math? Do you want some time?
Well, I just see there's this like bias in me that wants to pick SMU, but I'm having a really hard time doing it.
Yeah.
Like if I'm gonna I would never bet against my team, but if I had to put money on it, I would bet the over, like Jay's saying. I think it is going to be a shootout, but I also think there's a risk of it not being close, where it's going to be a 2-score game, just because we're going to take a risk because you have to when you're down 7, and that may push it to a 2-score game. So I'd probably say it'd be something like 45-35 with TCU winning. And so
boo.
That's my concern. And so I'm trying to go into this game with low expectations. I think we're going to play hard, but this game concerns me a lot right now.
Yeah, I'm with you. I know it kicked me off the show already. But of course I want SMU to win. I mean, I think they definitely have the tools to do it. I just haven't seen them put it all together so far this year. I mean, you can say that North Carolina game, TCU had put it all together from a defense, offense, special teams perspective.
Yeah.
SMU just hasn't done that yet. So I love the Ponies. Obviously, if they win, I'm going to be dancing on Sonny's grave next week.
We'll be right there with you.
For now, I just need to see the facts that this team can be the team I thought they were going to be. I'm hammering the over as well. I got 35-42 with the Frogs coming out on top, unfortunately.
All right.
It's okay.
Hayden, we still like you. We'll keep you around.
It's okay.
Thanks,
it's just realistic.
It is.
This guy knows ball, you know?
He does.
A lot more than we do.
And I hope you two are wrong.
Me too.
There's something in the back of my head that thinks you're right, but I'm not going to address
I'm definitely like preparing myself mentally to not win, but
no.
Yeah.
We're going to win.
We're going to win, though.
I think here's what I'll say. I think people went into the game feeling kind of the same like we're feeling last year after the loss to BYU. We were like, wow, this offense is going to be horrendous.
We didn't know who our quarterback was going to be.
You know,
it was crazy.
Yeah, exactly. You had no idea. Kevin rolls out there. It's great. Offense scored 45 points. You get 21 off defense and special teams. I mean, the ball is shaped weirdly, man. Anything can happen, especially in rivalry games.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Especially in rivalry games.
And if it bounces our way, then there's no telling.
Yeah.
No telling. Okay, the last topic.
Yeah, so this weekend, it is the final battle for the Iron Skillet. And you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I was going to talk about that one.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll switch it up then. So there's some controversy.
There's a little bit of controversy.
The admin at SMU, athletic department, whoever, they're starting to say some things or not say some things. It's probably a better way to put it. And there's some people that are very fired up about it. Jay is one of them.
I happen to be one.
Jay is one of them.
Do you want to?
Of course, we're talking about the pony up controversy, or the lack thereof.
Yeah.
The Go Mustangs, or the Thunder on.
Yeah. What the heck?
That one gets me going. Anyway, there's been a lot of talk about this. Some people have said it's died a natural death, and I couldn't disagree more. Pony up is one of the best phrases in the country. It's one of the best. It's exactly right for SMU. It reckons back to the Pony Express era. It's an easy thing to do. We got the pony ears going here, or pony legs, depending on who you ask. But you lift the two fingers, relax them. That's pony up right there. And I can't imagine calling it anything else. So I think it's perfect. And one of the points that I heard against it is that it's not consistent, that our branding changes from ponies to Mustangs and SMU or whatever. Anyway, that it could be confusing. But I wanted to point out something that as the argument was that, top tier Power 4 schools don't do that. They have consistent branding. But I just want to let's start with the definition of a blue blood in college athletics. It's the University of Alabama. What's their mascot? Does anyone know?
Elephant.
The elephant for the Crimson Tide?
For the Crimson Tide.
Yep.
What do they have to do with one another? But yet their branding is top notch. They're number one. They win a lot of football games.
Or
I don't know if their branding's top notch, but
but
they are
name recognition.
They are the premier.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, let's go across the state even.
Yeah.
In Alabama.
Uh-huh. The
Auburn
Tigers.
And what do they say to one another?
War Eagle.
War Eagle. So maybe it's okay to have a little, even within the state of Texas A&M. Okay. What is their mascot? They're the Texas A&M
Aggies.
And they have, what is their live animal on the field?
It's a dog.
It's a dog. And what do they say to one another?
Gig'em.
That's a TCU reference. That's a frog reference.
Yeah.
So they're all over the board. Yeah. Well, I guess that's probably a bad one. A&M's not a measuring stick that I want to use for anything. But anyway, my point is
they are their own.
Let's just keep ponying up. It's a great natural thing. I think it's okay to say, hey, the ponies are going to win by 100. The Mustangs are going to win by 100. Whatever you want to say, as long as you're cheering for SMU, I'm good. I'm good with it.
That sounds similar
Trying to
to
kill
another
it.
guy.
Trying to kill it prematurely just seems wrong to me.
I mean, but are they saying that people should stop saying it, or are they just removing it from marketing materials?
What I'm feeling is suppressed, Walker. I'm feeling suppressed. I can't say pony up.
They keep telling you what color shirts to wear to the game.
Oh, they do.
They keep telling you how to cheer for the team, what to call.
I know.
them.
Just let me cheer for the team. Let me
Okay,
wear whatever
yeah.
color I want to wear to the game, and that's all I want.
I feel bad for your wife because nobody can tell you what to do.
Except for her. Oh, me. But I guess
I'm with you though. You can pry pony up from my cold dead hands.
Yep. Yep.
I love it. I mean, you never hear another school say go X. You know, it's not go Longhorns. It's hook 'em.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Baylor's sick 'em. You know, it's like
yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you know
The
what?
ears
I
are
was
great. I'm with you. I love the ears too.
Yeah. You got. It's just easy. What is this motion? This motion is pony up. That's. I mean,
Not
that's how
go
I would
Mustang.
I'm starting to
describe it.
think
Yeah.
they're pony legs now.
and what is
that?
Peruna? A Shetland pony.
A Shetland pony.
yeah.
And hail to the red and the blue. We're the Mustangs from SMU. These are words to the fight song called Pony Battle Cry.
Yeah.
So I think it's okay. I think we've lasted this long with a little inconsistency. At least we're on the same page. You know, Auburn is not even on the same page of what animal is our mascot. So we're all on board the horse train. Just whether they're adult or, you know, small child horse. You know, doesn't matter much to me. I think it's okay.
No need to pick a side.
I'm picking a side.
No, like the
feel?
admin.
How would y'all feel if Peruna was a full-size horse?
That'd be sick. Honestly.
That would be insane, is what
But,
it would be.
I mean,
like, imagine
it'd
the
be
person
crazy.
getting dragged by. They already get dragged by.
Well, they couldn't
Peruna.
run it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone would have to ride it. But
Someone would have to
I-
ride it across. Yeah.
I don't think I would want someone riding it because
No,
we're the
if
Mustangs, and that's like
someone-
a wild animal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If someone was riding the horse, it wouldn't be a Mustang.
Yeah. I
That
agree.
is true.
Yep.
You know what? I wasn't on this train, Jay, but you've got me on your side. You
Really?
convinced me. I was on the. Well, I wasn't against it, so to speak. I was like, guys, it's over. I don't really care what they do. But now you're right. No,
Wow.
we should care. This is
We should
you're
care.
right. We should care. We should care.
It's the little things that matter.
It is. It's
On the side, beating TCU also matters.
Yep.
And that's what's really important. And so, Hayden, thank you so much for joining. We really appreciate it, man. I'm glad you're on the right side of the pony up controversy.
Thanks, man. Glad to be here. It was fun, man. Thanks for having me.
If people wanted to follow your show or follow you on social media, how would they do that?
So my tag is at H_Howerton75, and then our show is called On the Pony Express.
There you go.
So if y'all want to tune in.
Heck yeah.
Let's go.
sweet.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming to join the second best SMU sports podcast.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
It's awesome, man. Hey, competition leads to better effort, so I love it.
Hey,
Heck
I mean,
yeah.
we all have the same goal, so we're all
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
we're all here to support the Stangs, and you know,
You mean the ponies?
You mean the
I can
Mustang?
call them whatever I want.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I like alliterations too. You know, support the Stangs.
Sure.
you go.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
But yeah, we're pumped for this weekend. We're excited to see you at the game. Yeah.
Awesome.
Anything else?
Well, if you're out there and you're like, man, you guys have cool hats, or I guess if you like the shirts, tejasdesign.com.
Yeah, TejasDesigns.com.
Friends of the show. If you want some Mustang Mood merch, go to themustangmood.com and check that out. And like this video, comment, and subscribe, and give us a listen wherever you are. We're still asking for people to submit voice memos. So if you've
Nobody
got
does
an
it.
opinion after the TCU game and you wanna chime in on the show, we'd love to hear you. Send us a voice memo.
Be
Go to
careful. Get a lot of TCU
themustangmood.com.
people.
Oh yeah. Unless you went to TCU.
We won't play it
Anyway.
unless it's funny. But
But anyway, yeah.
yeah,
Thanks for listening to the Mustang Mood and Pony Up.
pony up.
Thanks, Hayden.
Thanks, man.